Top of the morning to you. Welcome to BCB Live. Yes, indeed, we are that safest station in the nation. BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. We have a great show today, and we're going to dive into your hearts, and this is going to be truly your show. We want you to participate today. Raise your hand, put some comments. We want to hear from you. We spoke yesterday about the video that we're going to show today, a day in the life of a driver. And nobody knows that better than you. You know, I got a lot of comments yesterday, emails from drivers across this country with some different perspectives. Let me tell you, I was interested in one of them that said, we signed up for this. And don't forget as well about the dispatchers, about the drivers, the local drivers, the safety folks, you know, the HR, everybody in this industry, right? What a phenomenal industry we're in. And without a doubt, probably some of the hardest workers, the best hearts in an industry, folks that take care of each other. But we're not here today to talk about them. We're here to talk about you, the driver out there. Today I was coming into work and I was coming up Main Street into Mansfield. There was a driver, a flatbed driver, had some earth movers, some bulldozers behind it. He was lost. I could see that. He was in the right-hand lane. I was coming in the middle lane. He needed to get 2 lanes over and make a left. I kind of stopped the traffic, gave him the blinkers. He made that left, went into that lane, made a thing. He gave me the coolest thank you. He had the yellow lights going on there, and I was giving myself high five. After all, I just made somebody's day. It was cool. And you know what made my day? Was that you told me thank you. Don't forget the little things that you do out there on the road that make a difference. Letting cars in, you know, telling people thank you with your lights. You know, we love those kinds of things. Us four-wheelers, we get a big thrill out of it. When you tell us thank you, we tell our kids in the back, hey, watch this. They're getting ready to tell us thank you, and we're going to show you how they do it. All of these things in the day of a life of a driver, what you go through in a single day, we don't see this in our lifetime. Today, we're going to share some videos outside of this one video that show just a little bit about what you go through. We show videos after 7:30 with Buckle Up Bob that also show what you have to go through. That show, you know, if for one stinking second, for one moment you daydream, how bad things do happen and can happen. What you do is absolutely amazing. What we want you to know today is that you are essential, that you are our heroes, and what we want to share with this world as well is what happens to you, the frustrations, the camaraderie that happens in your day-to-day life. And with that, we're going to share this video with you. It's a day in the life of a truck driver by J.B. Hunt. Without a doubt, a phenomenal video.
How am I supposed to deliver this load? Because I don't know what time I'm going to get done here. And once I get done here, I need to take at least a 10-hour break. Yeah, and that means I won't get home until Saturday. Truck number 319320. I've got a regen problem. I've tried to regen it and nothing works. Would you tell me? Hey, beautiful. How you doing? I just want to let you know that my truck's in the shop. They're going to try to fit me in to get it fixed. Don't know when it'll be, but hopefully I can be home by Sunday. But it's all according to. Go ahead. Yeah, everything's fine. Just that trying to get the truck worked on.
I watched this video, and boy, it's an emotional thing. I tell you, tears do come to my eyes every time when we go back and listen. We're going to make the phone lines open, and I do want your participation. I think it's healthy. I think it's something that we need to participate in when we have these opportunities to talk about a day in the life of a driver. But when I watch these videos, I think about the guy that got laid over, right? He took too long at the ship or the receiver. His son's championship game is coming up, and he's not going to make life. That we miss these moments, and the driver that we started the whole thing with first came up that had some problems, and now I'm not going to be home till Saturday. And that's okay, right? We can deal with that, and we understand the nature of the business. And then the regen happens, and how many of you gone through that? Truck issues, trailer issues, and now out of your control, nothing your dispatcher did, nothing that nothing that the customer did. You now have a truck in the shop that says, I may not make it home till Sunday. I'm not going to see you, honey. And you know what? His wife could hear the pain. Your wives, your spouse, they hear the pain on you when you made a promise to him that this week I'm going to be home. I will make it to you. And nothing you did, nothing that your company did prevented that. But something happened, right, with the machine. And now you're not home till Sunday. We have the gentleman in there that just had to, he's staying in for the friend. We had the gentleman that hit 2 million miles, 2 million safe miles. And now companies are calling him and say, hey, come work for us. And in his heart, you can just see it. He probably loves where he is. And what's he going to do? Does he take a chance on leaving that company? Does he take a chance on going over there where maybe the money's better? But he doesn't really know what he's going to have. He knows what he has right here. We had people in that video that were, it's time for me to leave this industry. I have to get out. My wife feels like a single mother at home. How many of you have heard that? I'm raising them on my own. And the pain that you go through, you're trying to find a parking spot. You're trying to deal with the traffic on the highway. And you have these things going on a day in your life. I want to hear about your life. And I know it's struggle. I mean, it's tough. I mean, who wants to raise their hand and say, you know what, I'll make myself vulnerable? Because that's what you're doing. And I'll tell you that I see what you do out there. As someone who also has trucks out there on the road, my heart is heavy with you, for you. I know you went into this industry saying, hey, this is what I signed up for. No, it's not the whole thing. And for that, I'm thankful for for our industry, right? For those dispatchers, those safety folks, those recruiters that work hard for you, that stay here with you, that guide you to that landing spot when you're frustrated. And the video when again the lead guy, he's on the phone, he's talking to the shop, and guess what? He's getting cut off. I don't know if you saw that or not. He's getting cut off. He's talking about the region and the shop. They want to hear their thing. They don't want to hear his story. For the ladies out there, do we want to hear your story? What's it like? If we don't learn to share these stories, if we don't learn to talk about these stories, hey, guess what? America doesn't know what you go through. America doesn't know. And you know what? If it's our job as a BCB Live, if it's our job of an industry to train and to educate the folks around us on what it takes, on what we do, hey, guess what? We've got to do it. And I can play this game with you. I'll play the staring game. Who's going to blink first? I'll have the producer call on you. I'm going to do that because you are going to talk. We can't sit back in our industry anymore and just say, well, my gosh, I mean, that's, the shippers don't care. You know what? When we sit back and we don't share our story, they don't know what this video allowed me to do, allowed, other folks to do as well, was to take this video, share it with folks so they would see, oh my God, are you serious? Does that really happen? When trucks are parked on the side of the road, they're not just doing that for the hell of it. They're not just saying, you know what, I'm going to park here. No, it's not. But they don't know. Producer, help me out.
Yeah, we got Donna Kaysen on the line. What do you got for us, Donna?
Good morning, Miss Donna.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
We do. Good morning to you, man.
Good morning. Look, I've been out here over 30 years, and when I originally started, it was tough out here. It was, they say it's a man's world, and it was very tough. The men say, well, you're taking my job. And the struggle, the it was, but overall, we were accepted because they could see, I earned my spot out here because I proved to the industry that I can do this. I know what I'm doing. I learn, I ask questions. And, you have to earn that respect. And it used to be a lot more fun out here as far as, helping each other out. Whenever you pull into a truck stop, if it was dark or whatever, you dimmed your lights and you waited for a driver to back into a spot and set his brakes. There wasn't no rush, hurry, 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 rush, 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 you know. But on the other side of that, I feel isolated out here because I don't get out and really talk to a lot of drivers or mingle or anything because I'm a female. I don't walk around the parking lot. I go in and do what I got to do. I close up my house. So a lot of people don't realize that there's a woman in that truck just to be, protect myself. With the COVID, it was even worse. The struggle was real. And it made me even feel more isolated. When I go into a truck stop and I sit at a restaurant, when I do, I want to sit in the back. I don't want to be up there around the other drivers or around people. And I don't know if it's because I've been driving for so long that I'm isolated in this truck. I used to, when I was married, run team with my husband at the time, and it was great. And when I get tired, I'm thinking, why am I still doing this? Do I need to get out of it and find something local, or I don't have a clue, but it's in my blood thick, and this is what I do. When I get rested, I'm ready to rock and roll again. I take pride in what I do. I've made mistakes in the past. I know I make mistakes today, but I try to learn by them. And I love each and every one of these drivers out here because they're in the same boat. They feel isolated. And I do talk to, a few drivers from time to time, and I make people smile and laugh and everything. I'll look at them like I'm looking at them through binoculars, and they just crack up. People need to know that they're cared for, and just to take 1 second away from whatever's going on in their life, that's what makes me smile and my heart big. But it is tough out here, Sir Rick. And it's getting tougher. It's getting extremely tough. So
thank you,
that's all I had.
Hey, I appreciate
yes,
that.
Sir.
I love the fact that you're opening up a little bit and you talk about that. You really talk about, the struggles out there, COVID, and the isolation that you feel. And if you're out there right now, if you're a dispatcher at any company, you're hearing that. Hear the isolation that they speak of, and what a tough situation you're in, right? We want productivity from you. Hurry up and get them dispatched, and you've got to make that decision to say, I've got to talk to this driver because they need me right now. I'm not going to cut them off. My job is to listen to them. We've got to take care of our essential, our heroes. These drivers out there, boy, do they need us. And if you're HR, if you're anywhere, and you know what? It's all of our jobs in this back office as a support staff, right? To talk to our drivers. Producer, who else do we have?
Yeah, we also got Lonnie Payne here on the line. Lonnie, what do you got for us, sir?
Good morning. Can y'all hear me?
We hear you, sir.
I just wanted to touch base on it, Rick. One of the things that, I've found as rapidly approaching my 3 million mile mark. I've been out here for a little bit here, and as Donna said, the isolation is one thing, but I think also with the COVID, something that really touched all of us is being on the front lines is the risk that not only we are in, but we have to think, what are we going to take back home to our families? We have people in our family that are immunocompromised, and I have to worry about that. Am I going to bring something home that's not only going to affect me, but is it going to affect my family too? So I always think about that. I'm scared about that all the time. And then from our standpoint is, like you said, about one of the things I think is that helps us so much here at our company is the support staff that you've surrounded us with. I think it's important that we have that ability to speak to one another and know that we have people that can not only, when we talk, they'll listen, but truly listen with their hearts. And when I was a kid, my grandma used to tell me, always speak from a position of love. And I think when you do that from your heart, if you speak from a position of love and it's received from a same position of love, then that's what, makes that family atmosphere. And you touched on, right now with this shortage and we're constantly bombarded from every direction from people wanting you to come, over to their company. They're just throwing insane amounts of money at you. And something my wife said the other day was, no amount of money can buy family. And I just want the drivers to think about that. When you entertain these offers and you look at it, you pray about it and everything, just know that no amount of money can buy family. And what we have here is something truly special. So that's all I had, boss man. Y'all have a blessed day. #family.
Hey, thank you very much, Lonnie. And when you bring that up, I want you to hear this as well. When you're talking to a Lonnie, a Donna, when you have somebody like that in your company, and it's not just them, it's the other folks, right? It's anybody that's calling you up today and has an issue. You as a company, you as a, dispatch, it doesn't matter. You have the opportunity to make a difference in their life. And that means not taking the easy way out. To make a difference is hard. That means you're going to stand up for somebody that's not getting the loads, the miles, or the respect that they need as a manager, as a dispatcher, driver, whatever you're called. You are called to protect that family, that family of yours. And that means you've got to make a difference. You don't stand up for less. You don't let somebody jump in on your family. You are running that family. You've got to make a difference. And I challenge you, make a difference in their lives. Stick up for those folks that are creating the jobs that we all have. Producer, give me another call.
Yeah, we got quite a few here, actually. So we got Mike Campbell, and then after that we got Brian Winsauer, David Mason, and Justin Hayes. So, Mike, what do you got for us?
Morning, Mike.
Can you hear me okay?
We hear you, sir. How are you feeling?
Good. Years ago, the most time I got to spend with my kids, once they got out of diapers, I could take them with me in the truck. And I'd take turns taking them with me, and when they weren't in the school up until they were preteens. But once they got out of diapers, I'd take them on trips with me. That was the most time I got to spend with my kids. And then my wife had a hard time, being gone for a long time. That over the last 20 years or so now, she misses me when I'm gone and hates me when I'm home.
You know what? I can see that. I think I deal with kind of the same thing in my house. Hey, Mike, I want to keep you on the line for a second. I've seen the videos, and every once in a while, we'll see the videos of a truck driver coming home, right? And it's typically when you see the videos, they're on a farm, they're there, but that kid in the diapers knows that dad or mom is home, and they take off running when you get out of the truck. What was that like when you got home after being on the road for a week, 2 or 3, and then the kids got to see dad come home?
Oh, shoot, I'd pull up and I'd be ready to go in, but the kids would have to come out and they'd have to sit up in the truck, honk the horn, and bounce up and down in the seat and all that kind of stuff before I could get them out of the truck to go in.
Oh, man, I love hearing that. That's how you are a hero. Mike, you're a hero, and you drivers out there, you're heroes not only to this country, but your family, and it's lovely. It's amazing when we get to watch you celebrate a hero's welcome, right? You pull up into the house, and the only thing that matters, that family, the kids, the wife, the husband, whoever that is, come out and embrace you because they miss you. And then, as Mike said, you know what, mama or the husband, then they're ready for you to get back on the road. Producer, give me another one.
Well, my grandkids my grandkids are the same way today, but well, the rules have changed, and you can't take young kids with you hardly anymore. And then the way it is out on the road nowadays, I don't even attempt to take them with me.
Yeah, it's that's a shame to hear, and and again, it's why we're doing this. So Mike, tell me, why don't you feel comfortable taking them out there on the roads if you could? What's that big hesitation?
Well, there's so many more trucks on the road now than there used to be. Not as many trained drivers, and I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember Marmon trucks. My dad was a Marmon truck dealer in New Mexico, and I grew up in the shop there. And years ago, when they come out with this auto shift, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but Eaton come around to all the dealers showing off this new auto shift transmission, and I argued with him a little bit because Allison had automatic for years. But long story short, he told me we're making smarter trucks for dumber drivers. And that's and that was 25 years ago. So if you look out on the road today, you used to hardly ever see a truck involved in an accident, and now almost every accident you see, there's a truck involved.
Hey, Mike, we appreciate it. Hey, be safe, and thank you for what you do. Love the story. Thank you for sharing that with us. Producer, give me somebody else.
Yeah, we got David Mason here. What you got for us, sir?
Mr. Mason, top of the morning, buddy.
Oh, good morning. Yeah, I just like the rest of them. I've been out here a long time, almost 25 years. Less than some, more than some others. But I've had a lot of it happen. My first marriage, I was young, and she liked the money, and I stayed on the road too long. Things got estranged, and it just caused a lot of friction, and it happens to a lot of drivers out here. And to this day, my kids are 26 and 22, my oldest kids, and they grew up with that, so we don't have the best relationship. So I got out of that. I got into a job where I was home quite a bit. There at Little Debbie, I sacrificed my body because we had to unload the trailers. We had to do a lot of hard work there. And so I did that and raised my two younger kids. And I just couldn't do the physical labor anymore. And so I've been over here for about 7 months where I can just drive again. But this place here, you guys take care of us. One of my stipulations when I started working here was recruiting, and I said, I don't do OTR. I said, I want to get home on the weekends. And I've worked one Saturday in 7.5 months. So you guys are great at it. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure I found a home for a long time now.
Awesome, man. Love that story. Thank you, Mr. Mason. And, who else do we have?
Yeah, we got Justin Hayes. What do you got for us, sir?
Justin Hayes. Top of the morning, brother.
Good morning. How are y'all?
I'm doing well, man. Haven't heard from that great voice of yours, that radio voice that you have.
Whatever. So I'm like everybody else. I've been out here a long time too, but I kind of agree with Donna, the isolation, but during COVID, we've been a great company. We've helped each other out, and almost kind of, to me, COVID proof. Jen and I have made a crap ton of money. Our families have been well taken care of. We take care of a lot of people. But, my trucking career, I was more on the darker side of trucking. I was an outlaw driver for a long time. The isolation got to me. I've been through 2 divorces. And, I had a 5-year drug habit. I was out here on the road shooting 5 needles a day, stay up for 11 days straight, running all over the United States. Up and down the highway, dangerous, just didn't care, 100 miles an hour, wide open, keeping up with bull haulers and a lot of us doing drugs together. And I've had a lot of bad experiences out here, but then I've also had a lot of good ones too. Jeanette changed me a lot, and it is hard out here. Back in the day, it was totally different. My first divorce, I ended up with custody of my kids. I was changing diapers and feeding kids out here on the road, driving a black Peterbilt to California and back, and ended up losing my kids. And It's been rough, but trucking has changed. It has become, like he said, you got, smarter trucks for dumber drivers. You can pretty much put anybody out here with a little bit of training and stuff like that. But, BCB has been a good company. We've had our ups and downs with them a little bit, not too bad. But for the most part, been a great company. When COVID hit, y'all really took care of us, made sure to keep a lot of us around because we are family. I do talk to Donna quite frequently. I talk to Jeffrey Marsh quite frequently. But, I watched that video you were talking about yesterday. I didn't see it this morning. I just logged on. But I watched it yesterday, and I was watching them talk about isolation and stuff like that. And, dude, I can remember sitting in a truck stop with a needle in my arm and a pistol in my lap because I thought the cops were about to break through my truck or somebody was about to rob me. And I've had a crazy trucking career, but gave my life back to God, found a good company, found a good wife, and off we go. So anyway, I just want to throw that out there. I'm good now, and everything's golden, and trucking has changed, but I've never made this much money in my life. Never have, and we have a lot to show for it. So
awesome.
We really appreciate it.
Hey, Justin, thank you. I do have a question for you. So you're out there, you're teaming with your spouse right now, and it's your best friend, and sometimes it's probably your enemy. How is that, Justin? I mean, because when you're mad and you're arguing, you can't just go to the other room. Talk to me about that. I guess the life of a husband-wife inside that truck.
You'll probably think I'm joking, but in all seriousness, Jeanette and I get along so fantastic. I mean, we just get each other, and the only time we really argue maybe about family life would be home life, would be, one of the kids getting on our nerves or they're not acting right. And I'm more the one that loses my cool, but she'll just look at me and go to your hole. And I'm like, go to my hole. She'd be like, get in the bed, go to sleep. Have a good day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And that's about it. That's the extent of our being a butthead to each other. It's just go to your hole. So when she tells me that, I just go lay down and get on my phone. But we really don't argue.
Something tells me Jeanette's gone through a few of those noise counselor headphones they have now, right? Bose. You know what? You can't get a good enough pair for that truck. I'm sure she's gone through a few of those, Justin. I can hear some of them things with you because you're not the quiet guy all the time, right?
No, I'm one of those. If it's on the tip of my tongue, it's coming out of my mouth, and I don't know how it's gonna come out. But I've been that way my whole life. Honesty's the best policy. A closed mouth don't get fed. I just kind of grew up that way, and unfortunately, sometimes it bites me in the butt. But a lot of the times, I don't know. I just always been that way. I mean, it's not always the right way. It's just the way.
All right.
And most people know I come from a good place, too, because y'all also know I can cuss, yell, and scream, but at the same time, as soon as that argument's over, I'm going to give you a hug, and we're going to move on.
Yes, sir.
We're going to put that behind us, and we're just going to truck it out. So I'm that way, too. But anyway, love you guys.
Justin, I can appreciate that because I think in our industry, when we think about it, so many of us, and Justin, you're right there with me, we're so passionate about what we do. We're passionate about our miles. We're passionate about safety. We're passionate about our family. And that sometimes it can appear to an outsider as anger, and it's not anger. It really is passion. And I do think at the end of it, it's important that we realize that nothing that we're saying is personal. You hug it out, maybe kiss a little kiss on the cheek, Justin. I'm not kissing you on your cheek, but that's what you do, and you move on. It's important that we move on in our industry. Hey, producer, who else we have?
Yeah, we got Jeff Marsh. What you got for us, sir?
Morning, Jeffrey.
Morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Can
can.
y'all hear me? Okay. So, talking about the stupid drivers that we have out here, there's a guy, his name is Zach Stevens. And I know y'all probably heard me talk about this before, but he started having people send in videos of stupid stuff that truckers do out here. and like as far as blocking fuel islands and blocking the scale. Like when you weigh your truck, you pull to the end of the scale, you go inside and get your ticket and everything, and all that stuff. And some of it's even drivers who going into shippers and receivers with flip flops on and stuff like that. And so look into that and watch those videos, because and I mean he'll show stuff where trucks flipped over and stuff like that, and trucks not watching where they're going and hitting other trucks while they're changing lanes and stuff like that. And he's actually quit his job. He was a trucker. He lives out here in Wascom, just right there at the border of Louisiana and Texas. And he worked for Hub there for a while, and he's actually quit his job and went doing this video thing full time and everything. I don't know what he gets out of it, and everything, but it's called Bonehead Truckers, and it's on YouTube, and I get a message every. He does one. He used to do them every Wednesday, but now he does them every Wednesday. Then he'll do a weekend edition, and then he'll do sometimes he'll do a breaking news one and stuff like that. And he shows all the stuff that truck drivers, that these what these other drivers were calling stupid drivers are doing out here in this industry, and why this industry's changed so much. Just watch those videos and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Thank you, and we thank you for what you do out there on that road, for being safe on the road. Producer, we got time for one more call. Who do we have?
Yeah, we got Edward Lester on the line. What you got for us today,
Morning,
sir?
Mr. Lester.
Hey, Edward, what you got for us?
All right, maybe Edward, give a couple seconds here. You got anybody else?
Yeah, Donna, what you got for us?
Hey, I just wanted to add, I'm single and I choose to be that way. And I've tried the dating game and stuff, but being a truck driver, I don't have time to be frustrated by stupid things and saying, oh, you're seeing other guys and you're talking to other guys. Well, yes, I'm a truck driver and I have a lot of truck driver male friends, but people got to understand, when you're by yourself, you tend to isolate yourself even more. But I have such a huge family within BCB. I get to talking to other drivers, and they said they just kind of light up. When we're talking, I get hugs. I mean, and everybody knows who they are. From the locals to the over the road drivers. Justin, Lonnie, Jen, all you guys. I just love you guys to pieces. They're at the office. You guys light up and you make me feel like I'm really special. And, sometimes I'm thinking I'm not all that, but I just know that you guys have helped me and you're a big part of my family. Yes, I have family, elsewhere, and friends that I consider family, but just know that you guys mean so much to me, and I just love y'all. So that's all I wanted to add. Just know that we're not all we don't have spouses, we don't have somebody to go home to. It's just us. It's just me. So just keep that in mind, because it helps knowing that somebody's out there reaching out and they care. You guys care. Love you guys.
You, Miss Donna, we love you. And I tell you, when you came back on there, I didn't know if we were going to have a swipe right moment for a second there. A new dating
BCB
app,
Live
the
dating
BCB
app.
Live
Dating app.
You know what? I think we're on to something with that
Could
as
be the
well.
next thing.
Hey, producer, who else? We got Ed. You're back on again or not? How about you, Mr. Lester? We'll give you another shot. If not, give us one more call, producer.
Yeah, we got Cowboy Leroy Reed. What you got
Cowboy.
for us today, sir?
Good morning, Cowboy.
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
We
Yes,
hear
sir.
you, Leroy. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I just wanted to let Donna know she forgot to name me. I'm mad at her. Hey, y'all have a good day. Glad to be back.
Hey, Cowboy, good to hear your voice, man. Good to have you here. Man, just, the camaraderie that the drivers have out there on the road, Bob, it's real. I mean,
Yes.
they need each other, but they also need us in here. They need you, a safety expert, to also be there for them, to not give up on them, to be patient with them, and to teach them something. And sometimes that's the patience side.
That is the patience, and it's fitting that Cowboy was our last call, because Cowboy was one of those that we had conversation after many conversations, and Cowboy, is one of those things where if you have the patience and you're willing to work through the issues, you end up with a phenomenal driver, and Cowboy is one of those great success stories. Glad to have him. Him and I, we had there for a stretch. We were talking about every other week for several months. But he hung in there, and he appreciated, just like you said, understanding the story, not criticizing him to the point where, hey, you got to do this or get out. It was more, you're better than that. You are one of the best, and here's what we need you to get over that hump. And he was that success story, one of them, one of many.
Man, we love the success stuff. We love what you're doing out there every day. What you do is a challenge, and that's kind of what this first part of the show is about. We went a little long. We're going to hop back in here in 60 seconds, okay? Stay with us. This is BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. The quickest 60 seconds of your life. But you know what? Some of you are falling asleep with our music there, and we hear it. We love the feedback on that. If you don't like the music, you know what? Email us and let us know to change it up, because I think, buckle up, I think everybody likes it.
As somebody who has to answer the emails, we appreciate your feedback.
Hey, buckle up, Bob,
goodness.
and with some great conversation today.
Awesome.
Around the driving, around what they go through every day. We tell them, and it's not enough to, and I don't know how you really make them. I guess this is how you do it, right? We make you feel like heroes by the way we treat you. It's something that we really can't say. We can't tell you that you're our heroes, that we value you. It's something that we, as an industry, have to show you. And if you're behind the scenes, I want you to hear me. It requires action, like we talked to the drivers about. Buckle up, Bob. If we want to increase our space, well, we've got to, it requires action. We have to recognize we're too close and slow down.
Yes, absolutely correct. And somebody told me years ago, and I just always that being kind is free. It costs you absolutely zero to be nice to a driver and get that story, because I got frustrated with a dispatcher many years ago because they said, well, they knew what they signed up for. I'm like, so did you then? I mean, that's the dumbest remark that you could ever say. These folks make more sacrifices than I could ever hope to make. Yes, all of our jobs are tough, but boy, I get to go home. I can walk away when there's a frustrating moment and calm down. They're stuck in traffic. They can't walk away. They have to, and they're cooped up in that. You heard the isolation. That is real, and that weighs on many of them. Just want to call in and talk, have somebody to talk to. And sometimes you just gotta. I know you're busy, but sometimes you just gotta be that ear, just be that sounding board for them to come in and talk to.
Yeah, that, and the other words we hear a lot of. It's just part of trucking.
Yeah.
Says who?
Yeah.
It's only part of trucking if we allow it to be part of trucking. If we want our industry to change, hear me out. If we want our industry to be safer, then it's not part of trucking. It's going to be something new. We've got to move forward. We've got to push hard with technology, with kindness, with forgiveness. And we out there on the road, we've got to be better drivers. We've got to be better stewards of the equipment that we drive, the power that we have in our hands. If we want this industry to change, hey, listen, and this is my favorite part. It's on you. It's on me. It's on you. It's on the producer. If you're back there and you're dispatching a driver right now, you do have the ability to change our industry. And if you do nothing, then I can tell you this, nothing will change. If you're driving the same way you drove 20 years ago, let me tell you something, our industry's not going to change. You as an insurance company, you as a trucking seller, you sell trucks, you as a shipper, as receiver, you absolutely have the accountability and the responsibility to change our industry, not just for our drivers, but for our nation. We've got to get more productive. If we continue to run 6.7 hours out of our 11 hours, how will we ever get caught up? How do we take our productivity and plan around it? How do we do things different? Are you scared to make a change? Are you scared to make a difference in the life of somebody? Are you scared to love a truck driver? Are you scared? Because it does take work. Are you scared to stick up for somebody as a dispatcher? Are you scared? As a planner, as somebody who's putting all these things together, do you have the courage to make the difference in the life of a driver? Because that's the power you really do have. That's the power. Buckle up, Bob.
Yes, and you know, you talk about action. I remember a commercial a while back that just captivated me. It says, you don't have to be amazing to start, but you have to start to be amazing. And you know, it's action. You have to start. Don't be afraid, right? Start, and then you'll see that relationship happen, and you'll see the industry change.
Without a doubt. Hey, let's see some videos here. What do we got?
This first one, you know, what we'd never want to see, but a truck upside down, actually, the cab is. So this was a horrific wreck. It looks like the trailer is either still parts of it there or it's been removed, but the cab upside down. You know, folks, situational awareness, be alert. It's been one of the topics. It was the first one we talked about. Make sure, we don't know what happened there, but obviously something distracted. There was a situational awareness that wasn't taken into effect. Could be wind, you name it. I see the big green sign there is tilted. Maybe it was a wind blowing accident here. You know, when we give these warnings and alerts, please take them to heart. Don't just realize that, hey, you're driving along and there's no wind. The area has the gust. You can see that sign's kind of twisted there. So maybe it was one of those where a wind gust got this truck. Just be mindful of the situation when just because the wind isn't gusting right where you're at, 5 miles, 2 miles down the road, it could absolutely be gusting for you. So you just got to slow down. You know, folks, this looks like good and the speed's down, but it is still tailgating, right? You cannot see what's going on in front of this vehicle. And then the lane change wasn't too bad, but then boom, right? Nowhere in the back of that picture do you see a merge, a hot spot coming ahead. There's a signage there with some restaurants or gas stations, but you don't see what's going above, and then you pop out, and there's all this potential hazard. You got to back off and get that big picture. And again, we were talking about winds. You can see the dust. Watch what happens to this driver and the visibility that just happened. You can barely see cars in the other direction coming out. There's a truck. So, you know, this is worse than fog, but these winds and these dust storms, got to slow it down. This driver did that. But just be mindful out there when you're out in the west and those wide open plains. You're going to see this time of year, especially with farmers out there taking the corn out, all that's left is the dirt and the dust when the winds kick up. And here, great job. Construction, slowing down. Oops. This driver pulling a double, right? And you've seen the swerve. That easily could have laid over right there. Just great job. Again, want to keep the space back. What we're seeing with the technology, folks, is this looks like a safe distance, but it's 1 second. It is not an actual safe distance. So just kind of, and it's things we can learn from, not to point the finger, or this doesn't mean this driver's a bad driver. It just means we've got to change what we think is 1 second and safe following distance and realize that it's only 1 second and that's really not enough. And that's what the new technology is. Here, another one, right? This one, you know, you see the truck coming over, but this one needs to be backed out sooner because, as you could see right at the beginning of this was a potential for a lot of mayhem right away, and there wasn't a lot of reaction time. But as you can see, this driver does eventually back out and increase that space, but probably wanted to do that, start a little sooner. You can see the merge coming. This just had a recipe for potential major pile up here, and this driver does realize that and backs off. You can see the space increasing, but right here, kind of got to do it maybe a little sooner, right? Recognize that and make that decision. And that's what we talk about them seconds. It takes you 1 second on average to realize a situation and then start to make the corrective actions. So you've got to stay more back than 2 and 3 seconds. Good job there. And again, we talk all the time, courtesy. You know, when these people flip off drivers, it drives me nuts. Sir Rick talked about letting a driver in. Look at it. This driver is just going to let traffic in. You're not going anywhere. Why not let them in and avoid the accidents? Everybody that's merging on there clearly knows this driver, by the amount of space leaving, and then actually almost comes to a complete stop, that they're going to let them in, right? So great job by this driver being courteous out there, changing the industry perception. Remember, perception for most of us is reality when it's really not.
Yeah, so great videos on that. Buckle up, Bob. And if you have questions, you want to participate a little in this, hey, raise your hand, let us know, put a comment or two on there as well. It's just so critical that we stay focused on the road. Yes. And you bring up some great points in this spacing, right? Because when you watch some of these videos, I'll just be honest with you, when I watched them in the past, I've looked at them, I said, well, it looks like it's plenty of space. As some of the newer technology that we have, it's looking at really how far we are from that vehicle. So many of these vehicles, we're really only a second and a second and a half behind him. What appears to be enough space really isn't. And I think that's going to be a great educational piece for our drivers.
Yeah, not only for drivers, for the office. We reviewed some of these with some of the people with claims and other safety officials. And what was amazing was they said, well, wait a minute. It says 1 second, but the distance looks different. I said, yeah, because the speed is, I said, you're missing the speed. This one's at 70, this one's at 52. So, yes, the distance is going to look different, but it's still 1 second.
It is. Hey, producer, who do we have?
Yeah, we got Tommy Jones here. What do you got for us, sir?
Jones, what's going on, sir?
Morning, Tommy.
See if we get Tommy here. Tommy Jones.
Can you hear me now?
There we are, buddy. We hear you.
Good morning, guys. Hey, I was watching the first part of the show, and I didn't have a microphone at the first. But you know, like right now, I'm sitting in traffic up here. There's an accident on 635. You know, traffic is congested like no other. You know, am I gonna make my appointment time? No, I'm not gonna make my appointment time. But you know, things. If you got things going on at home, you know, like me, I'm adopting my grandson, and you get to thinking about your financial needs, the needs and wants of the new baby starting all over, and then your family's already struggling in the first place. You know, then you add just an extra little struggle, but you gotta love the struggle because you know the baby needed a place to go, and needed a family, need to be out of the system, and anyway, I just want to put it out there, just like Donna said earlier, is that an act of kindness goes a long ways. A lot of love goes a long ways. Regardless whether you're having a bad day, try to make somebody else's day go better. Make that extra step. Regardless of how you're feeling there, because, you making somebody else happy makes you feel happy. So I'm just putting that out there, and then it's like you're talking about on the videos. There ain't no point in getting in a hurry. Yeah, you get frustrated because you get cut off, from other vehicles, coming on or getting off the interstate, or trucks cutting you off. Trucks are world's worst. Even other truck drivers are out here cutting truck drivers off. And, like you say, like you and Dave and everybody else says, you got to let crazy be crazy. And sometimes it is frustrating. You get aggravated as all on get out, but there ain't nothing you can do to change the situation. You just got to be aware of what's going on, and if you got time to react. If you don't, then it is what it is.
Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate that. Great comments as well. Listen, we're thankful for what you do out there on the road. We're thankful for your patience. We want you to make sure that you know that and make time today to make that decision, right? To make that decision to be better than you've ever been before, because only you can do this. Only you can change our industry. Okay? What you've gone through in the past, listen, it doesn't mean we need the new group of drivers, the new group of dispatchers to go through the same thing. We want it better for them. We want them to go through, life to be so much easier than what we went through. That's what we do in our industry. We've got to make it better for those coming up and make a difference today in what you do. We're going to close this out with a prayer. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you again for all that you do. Did you hear us today? And I know you do. Did you hear the pain, the struggles from the ones that spoke, that didn't speak? I don't know what you can do, but I'm asking you to make our lives a little bit easier, a little bit stress-free. Give us another break or two. I ask it for our drivers on the road to keep them safe, to let them get home to their family, to put some luck in there that gets them unloaded a little quicker, to keeps them on the highway a little bit more, maybe, out of that traffic. The stress that they go through, we ask you to somehow take it off of their shoulders, to get them back home to us, to get them back home to their family. And we ask for the courage for each and every one of us to have the courage to make a difference, to forgive one another, to be kind, to say thank you, to open a door. Give us the courage to change this industry. We need your help. It's in your son's name we pray. Amen. Thanks you for so much for being part of BCB Live. I want to thank all of you for opening up today. Yeah. It's what we've got to do in our industry. We've got to open up so others can hear the message. They need to know what's in the day of your life. It's not a secret. Have the courage, each and every one of you, have the courage to change, to make a difference today, to stick up for someone today, to make our industry the one that people want to come into. Because when they want to come in here, that's when the driver shortage goes away. God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you this afternoon.